stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. Yeah. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome back to the Silver Liners Atlanta Falcons podcast. I'm your host, Sterlington. This is your host, your co-host, Cam. And we back at you again with another one. The Falcons are coming up this Sunday night. They got a back-to-back primetime game. This time we are headed to the Bay to take on the San Francisco 49ers. But before we get into that, what's up with you, my boy Cam?
Man, it's been a good week, player. It's been a good week. I've been riding the Falcon high. I've been enjoying all the media outlets glazing us. It's been nice. It's been nice, man. I saw a great video of John Gruden earlier this week, giving a nice shout out to the blank squad.
That's what he called it, yeah.
He called our defense, fastest defense in the league. We fly after the ball, man. Not a whole lot of household names, but we got a solid group effort on the defensive side of the field. Jeff Ulbrich has got us right. It's been a nice week, man. You know, as a Falcons fan, especially after L, you know how it is. Like, especially like how we lose. We don't just lose in typical fashion. We gotta lose the Falcon way, but you know what? We gotta enjoy the dubs when we got them. And This was a solid week. We are over 500 for the first time this year. We're 3-2, looking good. I'm riding that high. Hopefully, not too high.
Is your mic plugged in?
Not Icarus high. Not Icarus high. I don't want to fall down to earth like that. But yeah, I'm coasting. I'm feeling good. Looking forward to Sunday night.
Bet. Hey, is your mic plugged in?
It is. Can you not hear it? Hold up. Is the sound not the quality not good?
No, it's not that quality. It just don't sound as loud as it usually sound. But maybe I just got the volume down on my end or something.
Okay, hold on. How about now? Testing. A little bit better? Better?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah. Well, anyway, so back to the Falcons. Glad to know that Cam's feeling great. I'm sure all of y'all were feeling great as well. Y'all know what it's like for us. It's been the last, rough couple of years, but people don't want to give us no love. People out here, thought we were going to get slaughterhoused. We didn't think that was going to happen. I'm sure a lot of people didn't think that was going to happen. But like I said, I thought maybe the Bills, even regardless of how good or not good we weren't, I thought maybe the Bills were a little overvalued. And when they faced some teams that had a little bit of a spine, they were going to go ahead and have a little bit of troubles. And speaking of teams with a spine, we got one coming up this weekend. But before we get into that, we got to get into some Falcons newsery. Business as usual. My boy Bijan back at it again with another NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He working on that second NFC Offensive Player of the Month in style.
Oh, yeah, baby. Back at it again with another Player of the Week. I love it. Bijan is out there cooking like he always does. And honestly, sometimes as Falcon fans, I know I do. I can't speak for other people, but sometimes we take it for granted. He is so good that you take the greatness for granted. You just kind of assume Bijan had over 160 rushing yards. He had almost 250 all-purpose yards against the Bills.
Yeah, I don't think anybody took that game for granted, but I will admit, personally, even on this podcast, Bijan might have like a casual little, 140 combined, and like a touchdown, and we'll gloss over that like it was nothing. I'm like, damn, this dude over here like impacting the game. He over here about to set records this year for most all-purpose yards in the season, and we just kind of casually mention him real quick, and then talk about Penix or the pass rush or maybe how the offense not working. So we talking about Zach Robinson, whatever. So it's always important to shout out guys like that because we gotta look. I won't speak for anybody else. I'll just say that I remember during the draft when he got drafted. I remember Bijan getting drafted, and I was out with a friend for his birthday dinner, And I remember thinking to myself, man, I just want the Falcons to get a good player. That's all I ever want any year for the draft. Just get a good player, right? And they got a good player. And then I was a little upset because it wasn't a pass rusher. It wasn't helping building the D line. I psyched myself out. And I always do that, no matter who the Falcons pick. but but you know what? Bijan proved to not only be a good player, he's like a truly elite player.
Hey, let's
This
keep it a
is
buck, big dog. Bijan Robinson is playing at an MVP level. We have an
hey,
MVP caliber player on our team.
look, I would say when I say truly elite, I mean this is probably the best player we've had in Atlanta since Julio. This yeah, and Julio,
Woo!
that's the high praise because Julio is a legend in these parts. But I think it's important to acknowledge that Bijan is a guy who, um, I think you're getting a Julio level player. There's players out there like that. But we hadn't had him in Atlanta in a while, and Bijan's come here and showed you that you got one of those kind of guys. And the other thing too that's great about him is that he doesn't really get hurt. He's missed like maybe 1 or 2 games with injury. I know one was with the migraines way back when, but he really hadn't even been missing any time with injury. So he's staying healthy. He's staying explosive. He's working on the offseason and the way his game's set up. Um, he can minimize a lot of punishment despite being a fairly physical runner. So yeah, let's shout out to Bijan. Congratulations, Bijan. So the next thing to come up, we didn't notice it at the time when we were doing our Quicksilver reaction, but Ray McLeod was a healthy scratch. He's a healthy scratch, and he hasn't been practicing. So, rumors around the league basically that we might be looking to trade him. Um, Cam, I'm gonna let you go on this one first, man. What's your thoughts on that? What is your feelings on that?
Well, initially when he was a healthy scratch, I was wondering because I'm like, hey, we're down Darnell Mooney. So a healthy scratch from Ray is kind of concerning. Maybe he didn't fit the game plan initially. And I was like, that was my thought process. Like maybe he's not the best blocker. Maybe he just doesn't fit the game plan. Maybe Casey Washington just adds a little bit more value on the run blocking side of things. But then it comes out that like he hasn't practiced this week either. So, where there is smoke, there is typically fire. Which is a little concerning considering our wide receiver room is very depleted as is right now. Like Drake London is our clear one. Darnell Mooney is our two, but he's only played 2 games this year. Like he played against Carolina and he played against Washington. Didn't play against the Bills. We're hoping we can get him Sunday night against the 49ers, but we'll see, man. We'll see. We need Ray. Like I said, our receiving room isn't the strongest right now. I anticipate us addressing that need come next offseason, either in the draft or free agency. But who knows, man? With us shopping, or like, why would we be shopping a receiver when our receiving room is so depleted? I got some
You're confused
questions
by
on
that shit,
that.
ain't it? Yeah.
I'm confused about that.
Um,
Like, is it a vibes thing? Does he not? I don't know.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. I got like now this is like some conspiracy level bullshittery going on here, but I recall last year, Ray McLeod, obviously, when we traded Desmond Ritter for Rondell Moore, it seemed like, that was part of the plan, try to get Rondell Moore in as the three, but then Rondell went down. Reports that I recall were that uh Ike Hilliard was a big advocate for Ray McLeod. He was the guy who said, "No, man, I think we can run it with Ray McLeod." And at least for last year, he was right. You know what I'm
Ray had his
saying?
best
Career best year
career
last
career
year.
best year last year.
Yeah. That's what happened. Um, but as we all know, Ike Hilliard is no longer under the employ of the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that Ray McLeod's biggest advocate has left the building. Right? So I think we're just starting to see the dominoes fall. I don't know what things led to Ike Hilliard's release from the Falcons, but this like I said, it might be an ass pull. All right, I can admit that. But I think maybe decisions about personnel, who thoughts on who he thinks should be playing in those situations. Might have had to do with that, and they might not be as high on Ray McLeod internally. He might not have looked as good in camp. He might not have. He hasn't looked as good to start this year as he did last year. And quite frankly, um, I appreciate what Ray has done for us, and so I don't want to disparage him. But I do feel like the plan, as far as all right, once we get past Drake, once we get past Bijan, who need to be getting the ball next, the fact that that was Ray McLeod and not Kyle Pitts used to miff the fuck out of me. Used to miff the freak out of me. And this really freaks me off. But yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that that has something to do with it. Um, and that's why they looking to, move on because like you said, given the state of the receiver room and what we have in the building, it doesn't seem like we should be that thirsty to get him up out of the building. Especially when he's a proven option, but he's not high on the totem, and I like like you said, maybe he survives thing. I don't know. It's such a strange thing. Seems like it's coming out of nowhere. Um, but I don't know. I guess we're just gonna see how long that goes. I mean, they can't keep making him a healthy scratch and not trading him, and then or hell, maybe this is a Terry move. Speaking of trades, because I mean, we not exactly rich with draft picks next year. If they feel like they can run this offense without Ray McLeod and that they can trade Ray and get something for him, um, I mean, as long as they starting to get I mean, the last couple of games is kind of starting to be proof that they can get the ball and get the ball moving and get the offense moving. Um, I mean, without Ray or without featuring Ray. And without Ray being an impact blocker, he really doesn't have a way to impact the game without the ball.
One thing I will say to come to Ray Ray's defense is that there were ample times last year where Ray Ray was a quality third down option.
Yeah.
Where he was able to move the chains. He had sure hands, made some tough contested catches. I'm a big fan of Ray Ray. I think he like we said before, he had his best career year last year. And
I got a word for you.
what's up?
Quarterback. He might be a puzzle piece that fit with one quarterback, but not the other. And
That's a fact. That's the
what's the
fact.
future? I don't think they, I don't think they're planning on Michael Penix Jr. Not being the starter. No, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen for XYZ reasons, but I don't think they're planning on that. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you. I feel you, man.
All right. Well, yeah, enough of that preamble. Let's go ahead and get to the game. We got to go ahead and put on our focus goggles and focus on the game ahead. We flying across the country playing a primetime game in San Fran. And we getting a team that is man, they limping. They limping in there. I mean,
Ooh, bad, brother, bad. And
they go ahead.
this is shaping up to be one of those games where I'm a little apprehensive because some of the media pundits are now drinking some of the Falcon Kool-Aid. They're drinking the Falcon Kool-Aid, and what did Nick Saban say? Hey, don't eat that rat poison.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Falcon rat poison out there. People are eating it, and I'm concerned whether our team is consuming. And I'm hoping they're not. Raheem has he get us right in primetime games.
That's what I'm banking on.
Hey, but I'm just saying, like, there's some rat poison out there. People are feeding in on the Falcons, and typically when we fold is when people believe in us.
Yeah, look, that's why I picked against them in the first game of the year. I mean, obviously, it was the Bucks. It was like, all right, first game of the year, they got a little more cohesion than we got. But also, it was like bro, this team don't respond well to positivity and success. Like
Thank
that's
you,
just
bro. And I hate that.
I'm like, no, I don't want to cheer for you guys right now because that's gonna get y'all out of the game. But more importantly though, just from a football perspective, when we talk about injuries coming into this game, now I talk about the San Francisco 49ers limping into this game, but a big thing that's gonna matter is we don't know if Jake Matthews is gonna be playing.
Yeah, Jake
You know what I'm
Matthews is one of
saying?
our stalwarts on the offensive line, bro. Jake Matthews has been here for a minute. Jake Matthews was on that 2016 team.
Yeah, he was drafted in 2014.
Exactly. Jake Matthews is a proven vet, man. He don't miss time. So I'm cautious, but I'm optimistic he'll play. But on off chance he doesn't, we that's a big thing for our offensive line. So that's a big thing to getting this run game going, man.
And then you talk about pass protection. Now you have two backup tackles in. It doesn't seem like Storm Norton's in. Storm Norton's not in. So we're gonna be probably, going with Mike Jarrell out on the left tackle again. Now, when you talk about San Francisco, that is a team that has historically been able to get after the passer, but that has not been the case this year. And a few weeks ago, Nick Bosa, he went down. So Nick Bosa is out for the year with a torn ACL. Last week, Fred Warner went down. He hurt his ankle. He's out for the year. And they have not been a team that gets after the passer particularly well. You know what I'm saying? This is a team that they have a solid pass defense. With the when we talk about the 49ers, I think they like middle of the pack. I had the stats up. I can't remember where they at, but they like a middle of the pack. No, they're middle of the pack run defense, middle of the pack pass defense. But the main thing we know is this is a team that's 4-2, and Kyle Shanahan knows how to prepare a team to be in a game against another tough opponent. By the way, the tough opponent is us. You want to know? You want to know how tough?
Hey, number one defense in the league, tough.
Yeah, I was about to get on that. I was about to say, damn, you spoiled my joke, Cam.
Oops, my bad, bro.
No, it's okay. It really wasn't a joke. Where I was going with this was, I was looking at the numbers earlier today, and I was like, Denver has 30 sacks. Denver has played 6 games and has 30 sacks. You know how many seasons the Falcons didn't have 30 sacks for the whole fucking year? And Denver got 30 sacks in 6 games.
It's 5 a game, baby.
But they ain't got the number one defense in the league.
Ah!
But they ain't got the number one defense. Now,
And we gave up a 30-0 burger to Carolina.
Yo. And let me tell you what's crazy too, though. When you talk about this game and you talk about, all right, how the Falcons gonna lock in and win this game, because obviously, we want to be convinced the Falcons gonna win, right? Because when you being real going into this game, there's another one of them games that scream trap, right? And not trap in the traditional sense, right? There's a 4-2 opponent. We going into their building. We in prime time. Ain't nothing about that trap. But like you said, it's that the media been giving you some this week. They've been all on you.
The media been glazing this week.
They've been glazing you real hard this week. You feeling real good about yourself this week, and you whooped up on a good opponent. So that can get you a little overconfident sometimes, right? But this is a game where when you look at certain numbers, I mean, the Falcons got some favorable matchups. I think I saw the betting line for this game was I think it's -2.5 for the 49ers, so we +2.5. So they basically 3-point favorites. which that basically means they think it's a pick'em game, and I think that's fair. I've been seeing some people say that the line is in the wrong direction, that the Falcons should be favored, whatever, whatever. I'm like, for what? Favorite for what? Not to be Debbie Downer, but I'm like, we 3-2. They're 4-2. They got a better win than us. We on the road. It's in their building. Kyle Shanahan ain't no slouch. Hey, Brock Purdy go down. George Kittle go down. Juwan Jennings go down. Brandon Ayuk came back. Trent Williams be hurt. He out there playing hurt. O-line suck. They out here with like the number 30 ranked run offense. By the way, in case you don't know, the San Francisco 49ers, the Kyle Shanahan West Coast offense, San Francisco 49ers are 30th ranked in the league
That's crazy.
in running the ball. But despite all of that, that's a team that's 4-2.
Hey,
And they have not had problems. I mean, I was gonna say they didn't have problems putting up points, but actually, I want to say they've only scored over 22 times this year. Psst. Hey Cam, you seeing this shit?
oh yeah, I think I am. What is that?
That's a person watching this podcast that hasn't subscribed. Subscribe. The button's down below. No, maybe 3. Maybe half their games was. They scored 21 against the Jags in a loss. They scored 26 against the Rams in a win. And I think they scored 20 another time. But hell, I think even we got more 20-point games than that. And we got a game where we had 0.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And we only played 5 games. Like they got some things, going on, right? Now, if you talk about what the Falcons' keys to victory in this game, Cam, tell me how you think the Falcons win in this game. Like, what they got to do?
Well, we got to capitalize on the 49ers having a bunch of injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball, man. Fred Warner is essentially out for the year. I don't want to say he's out for the year, but unless the 49ers make the playoff and make a deep playoff push, he's more than likely out for the year. He has a dislocated broken ankle. He had surgery today to repair it. It was successful. He won't be playing. Nick Bosa tore his ACL. He won't be playing.
He's out.
He's out for the year. Their 2 best defensive players are out for the year. Fred Warner is a top 3 and not 2 or 3 linebacker in the league. Fred Warner is that guy, and he's not playing. So we have to take advantage of the matchups. We got to establish the run. That's going to be a big key for us to winning. We got Bijan, and I know we take him for granted. And this week may be a little bit harder considering we may have 2 backup offensive linemen starting for us.
Yeah,
but
man.
we have to absolutely make an effort in establishing the run because that's going to set up everything else for our offense. Michael Penix Jr., I think, is good, but he's not great yet. I see the vision. I see potential, but there's some things that he still needs to work on.
Yes, absolutely.
There was something we brought up last week. He had to hit the intermediate throws. And last week against the Bills, he did that. He hit those intermediate throws. Now, he has to do that consistently.
He still missed a couple, but yeah.
Yep, and he also has to work on throwing against man coverage. But all in all, Michael Penix Jr. has improved week to week. I mean, we did have that nothing burger against the Panthers, so that's an outlier. But aside from that, I have enjoyed his game. Like there hasn't been a moment this year where I haven't felt like Desmond Ridder or Marcus Mariota has been our quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I feel like we
winning in spite of him. Yeah.
I don't feel like I feel comfortable in the QB position. I'm not content. I wouldn't say I'm like over the moon, but right now I'm getting comfortable in our QB room. Getting comfortable in the QB position. It's feeling a little bit better, man. It's feeling good.
You know what's the thing to remember?
What's up?
How many games Michael Penix Jr. has started in the NFL?
So we've played 3-2, 5 this year, 8. He's played 8 games. So he hasn't even played. He's played half a season.
Half of an old NFL season.
Yes, because considering the new season, we got 17, so he got 9 more left. He's played half of an old NFL season. Hey, tranquilo. Take it easy.
Yeah,
Yes.
he'll he look. The main thing when you see a guy playing that way through 8 games, you're just like, hey man, do you feel like all right, we've maxed out what he got here? Do we feel like he can get better? And he's
Exactly. Hey, a good example of this. Hey, look at Drake May. He didn't start the season off. I want to say he has a few more games under his belt than Michael Penix Jr. But hey, that being said, hey, Drake May is finding his form.
yes, he is. He looked
That bad
very
boy is
good in
finding
this.
his form, man. He got a good head coach too.
Yeah.
Hey, he's spinning that rock. And it takes time. You're not gonna just be good off the rip. Hell,
Oh, my
even
bad. I
Tom Brady
forgot.
was
I
just off
forgot.
the
Let me say the whole thing. Yes, Drake May looked very good against the Saints.
rip.
Hey
And the
man,
Bills too.
no,
But
no, no, no,
hey,
no, no. Fuck the Saints. I just wanted to shit on the Saints. I didn't even care about him being good. I just wanted to be
my bad,
like,
my bad.
everybody knows.
I wasn't matching your energy. My bad, my bad, my bad,
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
always yeah. You got to remember, man. It's always about talking shit about the Saints over here.
Oh, where are my
By
manners?
the
My
way, every team in
manners.
the NFC South won last week except the Saints.
Ooh, say it
Yeah.
again.
Every team got an accolade for a player winning either offensive player, NFC offensive player, NFC defensive player, or NFC special teams player. The Saints were the only one to not get one of those.
Aw, that sucks. Not really. I'm pretty happy about
No, they
that.
suck. Oh man, yeah, fuck those guys. But anywho, I actually though I did watch a good portion of the game. I'm maybe that I think that had to be week 2. I watched a good portion of the 49ers game versus the Saints. Look, man, Mac Jones is really the key to it all. I think if we talk about winning this game, it's got to be about just affecting Mac Jones. And I think
Yes.
Mac Jones is gonna be starting. Brock Purdy might, but everything I'm hearing is leaning towards Mac Jones starting. Brock Purdy's still pretty limited. And quite frankly, when Mac Jones plays well, they can still win. That's enough for them to win.
Another good thing, or another big thing is I know you mentioned the 49ers were like in 30th in run offense.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah, they're 30th.
That
They average 82 rushing yards a game and 3.1 yards a carry, which is worse than the NFL.
that could change this week. George Kittle, who week 1 tore his hamstring. I don't know the severity of the tear, but torn hamstring is slated to play this week. He's trying to play this Sunday night. I think he was a limited participant in practice today, but he's trending towards playing. So I anticipate their running offense to get a little bit better now that he'll be in the
Yeah,
lineup. He's a mauler. He's a true
they'll get
blocking tight
85
end.
yards instead of 82. You're right. No, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
but yeah, that might improve their run offense a little bit, man. So Mac Jones will have another weapon. I'm anticipating Mac Jones playing. I know Brock Purdy could, but it just feels like more Mac is just gonna play this game. I think they might wait another week for Brock, but hey, who knows, man. But yeah, that's gonna be a big thing for me. I think that's gonna be one of the keys for us to winning it as well. Like on the defensive side of the ball, we're gonna really have to get after Mac. Good thing is, for the first time in my life, I actually have belief in our Falcons pass rush.
Yeah, somehow we getting there. Yeah,
Oh my god! I mean,
be it with 4 pressures, 5 pressures, six man pressure, 5 man pressure, whatever. We found a way to get there. And my thing too, when you talk about that, is obviously when you're 4-2 and you have a bottom 3 by various metrics, rushing attack in the league, you got to be getting those moving the ball and getting those points on the board somehow. Well, they found different ways. So right now they are number 1 in passing yards a game and number 2 in passing attempts per game. So they're not getting it because they just throwing a bunch of explosive passes, but they still finding ways to get the ball moving. They still finding ways to get the ball moving. So I think for us the biggest thing is just we can't be the get off for them. We can't be the get right game. That's probably been one of my favorite parts about the Falcons, we've only been to get right game once.
And
You
that's funny
feel me?
saying that considering they're 4-2. But even a 4-2 team,
Hey, that
I don't
four and
want to
two
be the I don't
team,
want to be
that
the
4-2 team is 1-2 in the last three.
and I don't want to be the game their running offense takes off. Not this one.
Not
Our
this
defense
week.
is number 1 in the league. Uh-uh. Nah, this is not I
Yeah, but
believe this is
I do want to point out now we are like number 14 or so in rush D. Let me double check that. So you talk about rush defense and you talk about yards per game. We are 17th. And when you talk about yards per carry, we are 27th. So, now to be fair, every so often that's going to be a quarterback run. But that said, sometimes we do get a little spicy on the run defense. Now, there's a little bit of a misnomer. I don't have like running, excuse me, rushing success rate up here. But what I have noticed that Falcons tend to do is if they give up a bad run, it'll be like already for a first down. But then when they start, buckling down and playing good defense, they'll do that for a couple times, and then they put you in, a third and medium, a third and long situation, and now you got to throw the ball against the number one pass defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? And that
Mhm.
number one pass defense is going to be huge for us because if we can just keep their run game under control, like every team that they have played this year has, then we can go ahead and match up, their offense with our defense. And I can't believe it, but I think we can win that one pretty easily.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But
It feels nice to have a little belief in your system.
I will say though, man, having George Kittle does change things because now it gives Mac Jones like a little quick outlet guy.
Mhm.
A guy who he doesn't have to like resort to the deep drop back game. Not that he's already been doing that. He's really been more definitely on the short intermediate side of things. But still, like I said, they found ways to get it done. Now the thing for us, like you said, man, coverage. But I think for us, this is a big game to exploit whoever Fred Warner's backup is. I'm pretty sure his backup is a good run defender. But he can't move like Fred in pass coverage, obviously. But I mean, he can't. He's not a passing coverage linebacker, right? Like he's definitely closer. I'm gonna speak to y'all in Falcons terms. Just bear with me. He's more late Nate Landman than Troy Anderson. All right. Or maybe I should just say Devon Diablo because Devon Diablo's a pretty speedy guy. But my point is, one's a little more athletic. And honestly, we can really exploit that with both Kyle Pitts, exploiting the middle of that defense, and with Bijan. You know what I'm saying? Guys have struggled to cover Bijan in open space. Um, so if you the 49ers, how you winning this game?
I'm taking Bijan out the game. I'm taking Bijan out the
Easier
game.
said than done, brother.
I know, but you asked the question. I'm giving you the answer. I'm taking Bijan out the game, and I'm making Michael Penix beat us. I'm making him. Hey, you showed me you can hit those intermediate throws last week. Show me you can do it again. Show me you can do it against man coverage. Show me. I need to see that you can be a world beater. Because if not, we're gonna just stack the box. We're gonna make sure Bijan can't eat. We're gonna make sure you are the reason they either win or lose this game. I'm putting the game on you. That's how I'm doing it on the defensive side of the ball. If I'm the Niners, on the offensive side of the ball, with George coming back, I'm trying to establish that run. I'm trying to keep. One thing about the Falcons is we can be had in the running game. We haven't really been had, but if the situation presents itself, we dang near can be had, man. So maybe in coverage, we've been looking pretty solid. And we got AJ back too, so I'm feeling a little bit more confident. Like with AJ being able to cover whoever their number one is, and whoever Mike Hughes or D Alpha got to carry the number to cover the number two. I'm feeling pretty confident in that. I'm feeling pretty confident. So if I'm the Niners, I think our key to victory is establishing a run. Like we gotta run the ball. Hey, how about you? How you feel about that?
Um, I see a lot of similarities. Yeah. So the main thing, we definitely. I mean, if I'm the 49ers, I know I'm getting the number one rushing attack in the league. I'm definitely playing a five-man front. And I'm gonna bring excuse me, walk a safety down in the box. Um, Michael Penix Jr., like you said, he struggles a little bit with man coverage. That's what we're gonna play. We're gonna play man coverage, and we're gonna play a five-man front. And if Mike can show us why we wrong, then so be it. Now, what I will say, if you the defensive coordinator, where it gets a little scary for the 49ers, if you Robert Saleh, excuse me, um, Zach has actually been doing pretty good at working around that. You know what I'm saying? Just giving him some favorable throws. So I think if I'm them, I'm just gonna live or die with that. We're gonna play press man, force guys to get off of press coverage. If we get beat, we get beat, but we're gonna have to live with the results. Especially, and I would imagine Saleh would want to do that because despite the fact that Nick Bosa is going down, I've been hearing that he has not been blitzing as much. He hadn't been trying to blitz. I don't want this to be the game where he figure it out, but also Penix has actually been pretty good against the blitz. So that might not be the play. But if I were them, that would be my first, second, and third priority. Um, like I said, easier said than done. I mean, hell, if the Falcons getting successful runs off against eight-man boxes, it doesn't even have to be the Falcons. Any team that could do that, and you would be in some serious trouble. So, like I said, we're gonna overcommit to the run, and we're just gonna live with whatever Michael Penix Jr. do. If Michael Penix Jr. throw for 400 yards, damn, so be it. But that's how I would do it. Now, if I were on the offense for them, obviously we want to establish the run, but I don't think you can eat off the idea that it's going to happen. I think this is a great game to try to establish the run early, but also maybe take some play action shots and get George Kittle involved early. He's back. He's your best weapon, or at least your second best. Top two with him and Christian McCaffrey. Um, it's time to get him back involved, especially because all the tape that you've been seeing for this team has been the George Kittle list 49ers. But now you're going to see what this offense looks like with George Kittle. Now, I'll say that's also a little tricky situation because obviously we have Xavier Watts. We have, oh my God, who's our nickel? Why am I drawing a blank?
Billy Bowman.
Billy Bowman Jr., Devon Diablo. We got guys in that area to field that do have the ability to cover in those situations. But if I'm them, that's just how I'm living and dying. All right. Do your best to be as quick as possible. What's your score prediction?
I think we're gonna have a. I think we're gonna have a Jesse Bates game this game. I think Jesse
Mm,
Bates is going. I think he's gonna have a little a come out party. He's been kind of quiet this year, but I think we're gonna have a real good game this year. About a real good game this week. As far as score predictions, I'm feeling positive, baby. I'm feeling 28-17 Falcons. How about you, big dog?
30-17 Falcons. I think this is gonna be a smoke show. Yeah, yeah, no, no. I think this will be a smoke show. I think we about to go over that. Now, I am a little scared about us being on the road. Um, I'm a little nervous. I could totally be wrong, but you know what? I'm gonna let the Falcons get a little confidence. I'm always on them so hard when they not winning. It's time that I get on the wagon early. I want to get on the wagon early. I want to be the one driving the bandwagon when this team turn the corner. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. I'm gonna go ahead and say 30-17. We are quickly running out of time. Had some confusion in the beginning of this episode, so we got to go ahead and cut it off here. But thank you so much for joining us today. You can find us on the AG Line of 91 at